Welcome to Humanity Unboxed. Michaell, welcome from the front lines of
Uh,
the coast of California.
tsunami land. No,
Yes.
no, it's not.
No.
Actually, it was. I looked at Instagram at the things, and it was a couple of miles from here,
Mm.
and it's like devastation. And I know from my friends that lived there that was no devastation. So it's all made up by social media.
Yeah.
It's made up. They said before it wasn't from this year. It was from another year or whatever. And I was here at the Northridge earthquake, which was the biggest earthquake, and
Yeah.
there were damages. There was a lot of problems,
Mm.
but it's very limited. Like it wasn't all California was destroyed. It was
Yeah.
just where the fault
Areas.
was or whatever.
Yeah.
And it brings us back to mastery always, which is our monthly uh, topic.
Yeah.
When you do mastery, you cannot go from a theory that humans are different than nature, and that's why we can alter. We are smarter than nature. We can alter it. We
Yeah.
have, and we see that over and over, and people try it. We see it with vaccines. We see it with medication. We see it. I'm not saying only use nature, but combine them. Use
Yeah.
both.
But
Use
we
what
are part of nature. So I
exactly.
mean
So
we aren't separate from it. The
exactly,
problem comes in when we separate ourselves and we think we can
exactly.
control. Yeah.
When we
Uh,
separate from each other, that you are a woman and I'm a man,
mm.
yeah, and that
Yeah.
you're from a different nation,
Yeah.
that you're from a different religion, from a different. This is segregating, and what it really does, what I thought recently, it preps us for not accepting our limitlessness, because you know what I go through, and and I've now two friends that have cancer and all this stuff. I it's so we are limitless, and only the crisis can now bring us to the that are limitless. It shows us little twitches of how powerful we are. It's like
Mm.
you have something happen with your kids, for example, and you say, "Oh my God."
Yeah.
If I tell you something that this will happen, you say, I couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
But it just shows up, and you have to handle it.
Well,
And
that's
that's
the thing. Yeah. It's like I'm really not a big fan of injuries or blood, but when
I don't
something
either. I don't
happens,
either.
I jump in and it's instinct kicks in. I remember it so well. My son was very small and he fell in the kitchen. We had a cement floor and he was carrying a glass, and the glass cut his lip on the
Ah,
inside. So there was a lot of blood, and there was a lot of panic, and it was just so instinctive to
when you're in
grab
the moment.
ice cream and give him an ice cream, and he had sweets, and the blood kind of stopped and everything was fine. But there is I think Viktor Frankl said it. There's that space between a event and a response, and I think this is where mastery comes in quite well. When we can ground ourselves, when we know we are part of nature, we are
Yeah,
part of each other, then
yeah.
we don't have to react. We can respond. I think I've
We
got it.
can act. We can act instead of reacting, which
Yes,
is,
yes,
so the
yeah.
systemic says have to do exactly this. And
Mm-mm.
how often have they done in the? I know this from a lifeguard.
Yeah.
They've done in the old days. They have done uh, exactly by rules, because in the old days it was even more by rules, and you should not give a thing when somebody has a back injury or whatever. You shouldn't give them first aid, because you
Yeah.
might screw the vertebrae out. So
Yeah.
this we constantly learning. There's not that's wrong or blame or anything, but we gotta be saying the human centricity. That we are part of nature. What you said so wonderfully, we are
Mm.
part of nature. We are not segregated of. We cannot alter nature.
Yeah.
I had I think last time did we say that I had a new metaphor. I said if I'm an apple of an apple tree, if we are all apples of an apple tree, and we start saying we need to change the tree, We
Yeah,
can't.
it's true.
And
Yeah.
this is what humans think. It is so obvious. And this is another thing I found this week was we go so systemic. Then even when the wisest people that really know say it's simple, it's not complicated, that we don't believe that it has to be complicated. It's like we believe the solution has to be complicated. And then when somebody does the simplest things, sells a rock, the rock thing that they sold all over the world,
Yeah.
then people say, how can you make billions of dollars with this, millions of dollars with this?
Mm.
So we assume, and this is where the rejection comes about life, and this is what we talked about previously, that people have not fear of dying, they have fear of living too. And this gets us stuck. We can move right now. Look over, we talked about this, right?
Yeah.
Everybody is afraid to move anywhere.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to make a decision. The people with a lot of money are afraid to invest it, and the people with little money, they don't have money. But it's basically putting billionaires and beggars in one thing, because they both think 70% of money versus they don't live life. It's all
Which is, yeah, which is controlled, which is, it's enforced, it's unnatural, it's coming from
yeah.
the outside. It's like what you're saying about um, things that are put on social media or on media, whatever media it is, that
To
isn't
just
real
get a reaction.
from now.
Life
It's,
is
yeah,
not to get a reaction.
yeah,
It's acting. It's creating. It's
yeah.
building. It's collaborating. It's not.
It's, yeah,
I need your reaction. Oh,
and,
honey, I did this. Oh, I feel so good. Please help me. This is. It's
yeah.
all about a reaction versus an action. We don't act in life. We just react in life.
But I told you I'm busy with this book. We're busy with it in the it's called The
Yeah.
Kabbalion, and it was written in 1908. So it's
Yeah.
nothing new. Well, it's not even from
Nothing is
1908.
new.
It
Yeah.
is
It
from
just is. It just
Hermes,
is.
yeah, from like thousands of years ago.
Yeah.
And this is where the segregation or the separation comes in. If I say occultism or the occult,
Yeah.
you immediately think, oh, that's bad, or that's immediately connected to, for me, in my
Yeah.
understanding, to Satanism or something like that. But it's not. It just refers to
That's the
hidden.
systemic. The
Exactly.
Satan is the
But
systemic.
that's segregation. And now this little book, it talks about 7 principles. We all have it, we all understand it, we
Yeah.
all live it in a human-centric way. But if we put the things into
Label it.
cause and
Label it.
effect, polarity,
Yeah.
yeah, we label it, we give it, but we also through that give it understanding. We have
Yeah.
then understanding of, okay, if I do this consciously, if I know that good and evil aren't two separate things,
Yeah.
um,
They come
you know
together. They're lovers. They're lovers.
exactly, hate, love and hate, there's a very
Yeah.
thin line,
Yeah.
that it can go either way. But there is a polarity, there is a play, there's
Yeah.
rhythm, the principle of rhythm.
And the power is balance. The power is
Yeah,
balance.
yeah,
It's
which
not to
isn't
be.
necessarily in the middle either. It's sometimes it's up
Yeah.
this side of the pendulum, or sometimes it's this
Yeah.
side of the pendulum. So
Yeah.
um yeah, we're going back to go forward. All of
Yeah.
these things that we now so worship, like
I mean,
science, like
science is a religion.
psychology,
Religions
like,
selling love for killing people. I mean,
yeah,
there's never have more people be exterminated than with religion, which uses love as their core. So,
yeah,
in the name of love, we kill each other. In the name of medicine, we kill each other. So, first
mm,
thing in fair flaw. So, those are the first three that are inhumane.
yeah,
And we only point out the inhumane. We only point out the human-centric stuff. We don't point out, is it a good system or bad system? No, we don't care. It's a system. We have to always look in every system, in every rule, what is the natural human thing? What is you know, that humans are not bad, that humans are not violent. They are conditioned to be violent over generations. And you can't even say, oh, the Catholic Church is bad now or whatever. No, it's not. you got to stop judging, because that
Yeah.
segregates. How can it be? But it cannot also be for everybody. It's not for
No.
everybody.
No.
Buddhism is for one people, Muslim is for other people. We are 8 billion people,
Mm.
and they're
But,
all
but
one on
yeah.
one.
But these are also just systems. So if
Yeah,
we look at the underlying element to all of these,
yeah,
then we don't need these labels of
yeah. We don't
Islam
need
or
it.
Christianity or Buddhism or whatever it
No.
is. And
I mean,
this
you can
for
say I'm
me is
interested in it. Like you said, I'm in the
yeah,
Kabbalah book. I'm interested in that.
yeah,
Not to copy it. See, this is where we come to the
yeah,
creativity, but to take out the wisdom for you and then mix it up with your wisdom and have your one of one perception, life perception aligned. So you
yeah.
get more of know thyself.
Yeah, and this is the whole point of Hermetic philosophy. It
Yeah.
isn't a right or a wrong. It isn't a rule. It is
Yes.
a a concept to play with and make your own if you want.
And
And
we
this is
prove it
why
every.
it's a secret, and it goes through
Yeah.
all religions, or whatever you want to
Yeah.
call it,
And
cultures or
and
concepts
that
or whatever.
that's why we have Humanity Unboxed, because we do it every. We had no idea what we're talking about today. We
No.
only knew it was in the context of mastery, and
Yes.
I wanted to tell people that, so people, when somebody looks at this, we prove it every time. We are never prepared, never.
Well, we
We
always prepared.
trust,
We just
and we
talk.
all, because we are always prepared,
Yeah.
and we trust our dance, and
Mm.
in the dance, in the creation, stuff comes out. I mean, I would never come up with all the stuff that come up here just sitting alone in a room. We couldn't. And
No,
I'm
because
very
there's a
aware. I'm
dance.
very
Yeah.
aware. And like I am alone in a room, when I read a book, in the book, I would, that's why I say, don't read a book and copy it.
Mm.
Read a book to clarify knowing thyself. How can I use that in business? I'm going now systemically, because I said,
Yeah.
how could I apply this in my system? And then feel your uniqueness and said, for me, it would work to promote it this way.
Yeah.
So you read a thing of promotion, a book of promotion, you read it, says, I don't care. No, I would never, but I have to do it because that's what success
Mm.
says, and that's what things says. And then you say, no, but this book, read another book. And then in that other book, you find, oh, in this book, I found the way I would promote my business. So,
Yeah. And this is how
I
you
mean,
find your people. It's like when I read The Creative Act, it was like Rick
yeah,
Rubin put words to the things that I was feeling.
yeah,
But, other people aren't going to be feeling or looking at things the way that I do. And therefore,
exactly.
I'm not going to identify with their book. It doesn't mean their book isn't good or, whatever
Yeah. And I
your
read it too,
judgment
because
is.
we are both artists. I read it too. And my perception is different than yours, but we
Yeah.
both agree that Rick doesn't force people to do certain things.
Yeah.
He says, this is what my perception is. That's
Mm.
what in my life experience I have it. And that's why it's so powerful. The
Mm.
second superpower of human, that they collaboratively interact. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter what you believe. You can say, I hate all men, and I can say I hate all women, and we still have a beautiful talk.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter
And
what I think.
yeah. And I came up with this yesterday. Or it kind of came clear to me yesterday that this is what mastery is.
Yeah,
Mastery is the lack of judgment. It's not
yeah,
anything else. It's that
yeah,
place where I'm doing it because this is what I want to do, or I feel a flow in it. There's no good or
yeah,
bad. There's no right or wrong. There's
yeah,
no whatever judgment you want to put
yeah.
onto it. Yeah.
And I found the same way out, because this week, because I said people don't want something. So when we know judgment doesn't work,
Mm.
but when you judge, be honest and say, I judged. And
Yeah.
don't be guilty or
And
anything.
don't judge
I ju-
yourself for judging, though.
yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
that's the thing, because the system says that's what you do.
Mm.
And then all people don't want to, many people don't want things. It's about the no. Like when a kid starts after 2, it says no. It's the
Yeah.
not. It's what you don't want, because it isn't according to your frequency. See, now we come to the frequency that everybody has, 101 frequency,
Yeah.
and we cannot deny that. We if we constantly live what we're supposed to do, or what we convinced of not, because you and I are convinced we shouldn't judge.
Yeah.
But when we judge, we need to say, yes, I judged.
Yeah.
And then you can say, does it help? And you can then think, does it help to judge you? You know?
And sometimes it might help, sometimes I can
Yeah,
judge that it's not safe to cross the road
everything
because the
is.
traffic is fast or whatever it
Exactly.
is. Yeah.
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 And this is what we said. Good and evil is together. It's not, there's one thing above before it's segregated into a good and evil. You
Yeah.
know, there's something, and there's also something between above us, you and me,
Yeah.
that is not female male.
Mm-hmm.
There's something, and we are trying to access that's above the knowledge, the wisdom, the feelings that are above that.
Yeah.
And in that realm, we get awareness and we get wisdom. And
Yeah.
that's why we
And
unbox.
even
And that's is a thing of unboxing, because
yeah.
I hope we unbox other people, not just you and me. But it doesn't
Yeah.
really matter. What is.
Up to them.
Yeah.
It's so funny now, reading this book, obviously. A lot of what we're talking about are these principles. It's the principle of the mind, that our reality is made up in our
Yeah.
minds.
Yes.
The principle of correspondence. It's like what I
Yes.
get is what I get. The
Yeah.
principle of polarity, of
Yeah.
rhythm, of vibration,
Yeah.
of which is the frequency, and even of gender.
Yeah.
If I segregate myself as a woman, us as woman and man, I also have masculine aspects to myself. You
Absolutely. You
also
might
have
have more than I. You might have
many.
more masculine than I.
Yes, exactly.
Or your
But
husband.
or my husband, yes, very much so.
Scooter.
And for us to be able to consciously be awareness of these aspects brings us closer to living or experiencing
Yeah.
this human experience, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe.
In the context of the one, also in the
Yeah.
one of oneness and the one.
Yeah.
Because there's a paradox, and you have to lean into a paradox to solve it if you want to get above the paradox, and you have to lean into
Yeah.
it. You cannot just say, oh, I fear, I don't want to feel fear. See, that's what I was saying. I don't want to feel fear. I don't want to feel fear. I'm not supposed to be anxious. I'm not supposed to judge. I'm not supposed to this. And then that makes you stuck,
Because
because
you're
you're,
focusing on those things.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And this is another thing about this which actually drew me to the Kabbalion and to Hermetic philosophy, is this quote, and I know you know it very well. It's as above, so below, as within, so without, as the soul, so the universe, or the other way around, as the universe, so the soul. So within our experiences, with the things that we know, we can pick up patterns, which we can then
It's the pickup.
relate to the things that we don't know.
Very good. Because it's the pickup. It's not the fact.
Yes,
It's the
it's
pickup.
the
It's not the fact.
interpretation. Yeah.
It's not the, oh, I need to copy this. I need to know good is good equals bad, or no.
No.
It's not. It's just say it is, and
Mm.
we are part of what is. We are
Yeah.
part of the one. The one is. It
Yes.
doesn't matter. The wave in the ocean, my creative outburst, another person's anger, whatever. It just is, and we have to navigate in that observation of what is. We navigate, and we observe,
Yeah.
and we learn of what is.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that.
We learn from what is, and because what I don't, what I is when people are not in a position, but they say, no, that's evil, that's Satan, that's this, that's that.
Mm.
What is if God or something would have made Satan the thing, and God is the bad thing?
Yeah.
and being a good boy. And you know how much in psychiatry is. I wanted to be a good boy. I was the firstborn in my mom, and I wanted to be the good boy. I had to really work on that. That
Yeah.
I'm not the not that I'm now the bad boy. No,
No,
just that I let
you're
go
just
of
human.
being always everything is aligned to the good boy. So
Yeah.
I'm a loving person. I would never yell at you. Not
Mm,
true. I would yell at you. You know.
mm,
Now I'm okay, in peace with that. I don't feel
yeah.
guilty.
Yeah.
But yeah, you feel guilt when you just make it up. You know.
Well, because it's
But
the box. The box was
yeah, it's
created
a
as
box.
this is the good
Yeah, you
boy.
should feel guilty. You should feel shame.
Exactly.
And
Shame.
that's
There
the
we go.
world. And that's the no saying uh, in physical. They are your crows again. Yeah.
Yes.
And that's that, that's that boxing. You know,
Mm, yeah. Because a lot of the boxing was there to keep us safe. We were talking about it the other
it's
day.
outdated.
It's
Yeah,
outdated, but it's not actually there. It is all
yeah,
made up, you know.
yeah,
So there is no box.
yeah.
But we blame our parents or our grandparents or whoever it is that did that thing
Yeah,
that was mean to us, as if they did it to be mean, and yet they were also operating from a box, thinking
yeah,
that this is the only thing that they can do. And I think there's a lot of release in that,
yeah.
where we carry other people's stories, because how did
Absolutely.
you do that to me?
Because
I
what
didn't
is
deserve
is
that. Yeah,
what
exactly.
is, and I love the theory that there is no past lives and everything is now. So we are now in the 1800s when we knew each other, and I was a woman and you
Yeah,
were a man,
yeah, yeah.
uh, and everything is at the same time because
Mm,
we're looking at growing. It's always a growth. Everything is a growth,
yeah,
and I like that that we're not. And also, when you say box, what came in was uh, everybody's a different box. So you see the
yeah.
system in one way, I see the system in another way, and that's why I say it's the relevance, the what we give to the system relevance, the human centricity. Yeah. So
Ah,
what we give them,
yeah,
you know,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
we have all 101s, so we all have 101 box,
yeah.
and we all give the meaning because there's people that always think negative, everything. So because they were boxed negative, so they're
Yeah,
always negative. And
yeah,
there's people that are always positive. There's always people that are lucky, which is all frequencies that they are hooked into and not letting go. They were hooked into by their father. You're an alcoholic. You have to do this. And now with AI, I love that it came out.
mm,
AI, and actually scientists looks at that and they said, we were growing up, you and I, that that my family had endless heart attacks, so I
mm,
must have a heart attack.
yeah,
I mean, and in my thing, my family didn't have a heart attack, but my father died with 52 on a heart attack.
yeah,
So on the second, yeah.
mm,
So that and
yeah.
I'm
And that's going back
66.
to the
Yeah,
vibration. Are
yeah.
are you aligning with that
Are
vibration?
you hooked in? Are you
That's
hooked in
it.
into your box, into
Yeah,
your pattern, into who you are?
yeah,
And that's why I say, know thyself is the guide
mm,
to see that what is, because
yeah,
know thyself is not everything. It leads you to, because the path is important. It's not the end. See, if
well, yeah.
people
There
could
is no
give
end.
up I have to remind myself I have to give up of the end. What I
Yeah,
want. Yeah,
yeah,
because that's in the future. I can want. That's why all the people I want, and it's always in the future.
mm,
How many people want to be rich, and how many people get rich and get the opposite, get poor? Because what you not want, you create, you attract vibrationally.
yeah. And even just knowing what you want, though, what one of these concepts that the
Yeah,
Valley
yes,
talks about is alchemy, astrology, and what is the third one? Mysticism.
yeah,
So those are kind of the three things that they worked with. Then became systems. These
yeah,
aren't systems. They were used to be free flowing. They
to bring
in
you,
a
like,
way.
know thyself is a path to bring yourself to, because you never know yourself completely. It's never
Well,
done,
yeah,
because
there's no,
if I know myself when I was 5 years old, is a different person than I'm now,
yeah,
right? And so it's always think, and I can only talk to you about this, and most people I can't. The
yeah,
stuff comes in with you, so
yeah.
so,
Well, it
so
is quite. I think it's too open sometimes to really let go of the boxes, because the boxes, as I said, are there to keep us safe, but it's also there. They don't work, so they are the things that make us unhappy because we don't fit
yeah.
into the boxes. But if we let go of them, then we have nothing to hold on to. So it's kind of an abusive relationship we have with systems, that we can't
Yes,
let go
but
of
we
them.
also we get to a point vibrational where we okay with is,
Yeah, yeah,
where
yeah,
we are okay with uncertainty, where we are okay. Everybody wants uncertainty, where we are okay that we are safe. Why would nature create something where we are not safe? This is
yeah.
the segregation again. We are safe. We want to be
But
safe.
yeah, this is also a concept that we've created. So
Yeah,
we have this idea that we are only safe if we are alive and in this form.
yeah,
So what is safety? Someone said the other day, with the only path to death is life,
yeah,
or something like that. But it isn't, yeah, concepts that we have built our identities on
yeah, mm-hmm.
are so grounded in things that we have no control over, really.
Yeah,
We are going to die, that is part of life. And
yeah.
that
But we're not
would
really
be the
dying.
release, that would be the
We're
transformation
endless beings.
into a different form.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that's not the end of, necessarily. We don't know. I don't know.
But
I
you're not a
assume.
Hawaiian if you go to Hawaii.
No.
We're just an earthling as one of our incarnations.
Yeah.
One
in
thing is
in
being an
this
earthling.
in this
Yeah.
dimensional space that we are understanding now. But as you say, perhaps time is not linear. Therefore, we also, all those other things at this
And
level.
there's many times around, all around. Everybody has different time. My dad was always late.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's interesting. Your dad was a Scorpio, wasn't he?
he
And
was, what my mom was always late. Always. It doesn't matter how important the event. My father was always late. Couldn't be on time. And
yeah,
I'm the opposite. See, I use
yeah.
that sample, I'm the opposite. But
Mm.
now I'm not frantically the opposite. I was frantically the opposite because I never wanted to be like my dad,
Yeah. So you were acting out of fear.
out of fear. And now
Yeah.
I'm just on time. I said, out of the respect of others,
Yeah. Yeah.
because I
So
felt
you've now
very
aligned with that
disrespect.
vibration.
Everybody felt disrespected by my father
Yeah.
because he came always late.
Mm.
I mean, the people an hour late. I mean, and that in Europe there's this fine thing, you got to be nobly late.
Yes.
When I grew up, you have to be
Yeah.
15 to 30 minutes late,
Yeah.
which is get everybody in anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
That is the person coming. We're expecting me. He's a part of that meeting. Is the person coming or not?
Yeah.
But you have that today too. It's not because we got more with all the digital things. We got more on time. So when you have an event today,
Mm.
when you have an event today, I was in events. It took like half an hour to get the people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. But there's traffic, or there's, I've had it now twice with a friend that I meet
yeah,
close by, and then things just align in a way. There's a tractor in the road,
yeah,
or there's something that
yeah,
you have to let go of that control as well. That,
yeah,
okay, I'm going to be 5 minutes late. I'm going to send you a message to let you know that I'm going to be 5 minutes late, and I can't do anything more about that.
yeah.
Yeah.
But when you see a concert or any event starting today, like 10 minutes before, is nobody there, and all of a sudden it's
Yeah.
full. In the old day, it was like half an hour people were coming in.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
We have a
Interesting.
nice
And now
soundtrack,
we
back
just,
soundtrack. We
I
have a
love it.
background music.
The bells.
Yeah, the bells.
The
The
bells are
bells.
ringing.
Anu,
Yeah.
anu, the bells. Unruly.
Rebel. Do you know
Yeah,
the story about the bells, that they took the bells away, and
I know that.
the
We
rebels
should
were
talk
the
about
ones
that.
that were
Hertz, all
rebelling?
the.
Yeah.
I have a couple of talks I want to talk about the Hertz change of,
Yes.
you know, that Goebbels was in the, before he got to the SS, they changed all the
The
bells
frequencies.
because
Yeah. You've sent the Wisdom Seekers group in a to a rabbit hole as well, because Janice also found
yeah,
the article, and then
yeah, she's in a rabbit.
then
He's
yeah,
totally in it. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Well, that's a perfect way to end, with the bells in the background.
yeah,
And thank you as always. I
yeah,
feel more masterful.
yeah.